All righty, let's do it. It's time for the show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. My name is Dan. I'm here at the lovely Sellersville Theater. You can see it behind me. This is Soundbooth Sessions, our weekly live stream series where we feature a concert and a conversation with an artist we love. Thank you for joining us. I'm so thrilled to have Michael Borowski on the program this evening. We are in for a night of beautiful, artistic, evocative music, adventurous music. It's going to be a blast. Tonight, we have to say thank you to a couple very important businesses who were very supportive of the show this evening. I want to say thank you to Visit Bucks County Visitors Bureau. Throughout the pandemic, they have been very helpful and supportive to the Sellersville Theater and many other businesses in the area. So thank you to Visit Bucks County Visitors Bureau. And you will see that Michael is performing this evening on a beautiful YAMAHA C3 piano that was provided by Grafton Piano and Organ. They brought it in the other day. They knew that Michael was playing, and they said, for Michael, we're going to give him a piano. And this is the piano for him. We'll talk about why this is the piano for him in just a minute. But thank you so much. Glenn, the owner, actually brought the piano himself. It was quite a feat to see a piano turned up on its side on a dolly coming down the aisle of the theater. Then they set it up on stage with his great crew, Glenn and Brian. So thank you to those guys. And then the piano was tuned to perfection today by Tim Roof. Thank you to Tim. If you have a piano that's in need of tuning or repair, Tim D. Roof is the man for you. All right, we ready to play some music? I think we are. Ladies and gentlemen, so happy to have you with us this evening. With no further ado, it is now my pleasure to welcome to Soundbooth Sessions and to the Sellersville Theater stage, Michael Borowski.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining me. Going to get started with a little warm-up improvisation that this is kind of a new thing for me, and been playing it at my home, and I look outside and I see the birds. So for now, I am naming this song Birds. And that's that song. You are allowed to clap, by the way. You can make noise and then people know you're here. That is a new song. It's just kind of what I do to warm up, really. But we're going to start calling that one Birds, I think. Thank you guys for joining me. It's a privilege to be here. I like to play a song for my son, who I think is watching now. I'm going to try to get this in early before he has to go to bed. I recorded this song with Will Ackerman, which I'm sure we'll be getting into. This is on Peace Valley, the album that I have out. I wrote this song for him when he was a little baby boy. I recorded it, and I'll play it for my pal and squeeze in a little extra stuff that he likes. So this is for you, Jackson. I love you, pal. Thank you, guys. You can go to bed, Jack. All right. Well, you can watch this later on YouTube. Right, Dan?
That's right. You can watch it anytime on Facebook and YouTube. It'll be there forever. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
So nice to have you, my friend. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've crossed paths a number of times over the years. You've been here with... was trying to remember all the acts. I mean, I know Splintered Sunlight a number of times.
Correct, yep.
Dirk Quinn Band.
Correct.
You mentioned Miz, that's right. I don't think I was here for that, but that
well,
amazing.
I do play with Miz. He played here acoustic solo by himself,
Right.
so technically I didn't play here with Mike, but
okay. Well,
that's somebody I played.
Well, you're like one of those musicians. I was since we booked this show, pretty much every act that we've had in who saw your name, I was like, oh, Mikey's gonna do one of these. That's cool. Yeah. I know Mikey. We played on my thing.
Yeah, I get around.
Yeah, you certainly do. Well, listen, we're here to celebrate you and your music, and of course this great album that just dropped. It's called Peace Valley. Let's take a look at it. That's what it looks like, folks. It's a beautiful musical journey. Yeah. That you created, and it's been wonderful listening to it in preparation for the show, and thank you for making it.
Absolutely. Thank you for listening.
I'll tell you what, I want to ask you some questions about the album soon, but first, I just want to comment that you look very comfortable behind that piano.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us about your relationship with that specific piano, the YAMAHA C3.
Right. Well, this C3, and I believe you mentioned earlier, is donated for the night from Glenn Grafton and Grafton's Piano and Organ in Souderton. Right. And he's just been a part of my family ever since I can remember. My mom was a piano teacher and bought this very same model piano back in 1983, I believe. So this is the exact same piano that I have at my house. Now, my mom since passed away, and I inherited the piano. So now the piano is in my living room, and it's this exact thing. So I feel like I'm in my living room when I'm actually at this awesome theater.
Well, you just look like you belong there. And actually, that specific piano, that one that you're playing right now, Grafton has provided for us. We've rented from them, and a lot of amazing pianists have played it, like Alan Toussaint and Dr. John and George Winston and Jim Brickman have all played that exact piano that you are now
That is tremendous.
playing. So there's a lot of good mojo up there. So you mentioned your mom was a piano teacher. Can we just kind of get a little origin story for you and your musical superpowers? Do you remember? When did you first start playing piano? When did you get started?
Yeah, well, I got started with piano around 4 years old. I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was, but it was at least 40 years ago. And actually, my mom wasn't my only teacher. She definitely helped me. I would not be where I am musically if it wasn't for her. But I actually took lessons not quite far from here, Milford Square Piano or Music Studio from Gloriana Sewell. And she's still doing it. Her daughter teaches there, and they have another teacher, Chris Fossbanner. And so, yeah, Milford Square Music.
Right on.
Go take lessons, and you'll be on stage one day.
Can you recall what some of the early pieces that really like kind of captured you were?
Well, I took the method that I learned from was Suzuki piano.
I wondered if you took Suzuki.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we just did all the books for Elise. And stuff like that.
Hard to do with a microphone.
Right. I played with worse. It's a lot of Suzuki, a lot of classical, and I was mainly a classical guy growing up, and my mom was definitely classical. And then I started kind of branching off into more rock and roll and more popular music, I guess.
Now, do you recall from Suzuki, one of the things I know about Suzuki method is it's a lot about ear training, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you listen to tapes and CDs, and I guess now you stream stuff. I don't know, but it's a mix of listening and reading.
Right.
Fortunately, my reading skills have faded over the years,
Oh,
but
no.
but my ear has skyrocketed, so that's a good thing.
I was gonna say one of the things I've noticed. I mean, just in what you've played already, and looking ahead in the set, like you have found a way to weave in a lot of.
I do that a lot.
There's a lot of like stream of consciousness music sneaking in and out of your pieces, and like it's.
And I forgot to mention the reason I played that Train song, the Soul Sister, Hey Soul Sister. Jackson, my son really likes that song, so that popped into my head, and I just like, oh, I gotta play that. So that's why I played that song.
It's fantastic.
If you're wondering.
So you got to classical music and then into more rock and roll stuff. Like what were the bands at that time that kind of were your go-tos?
Well, I guess I started branching off into Led Zeppelin. When that was the first, even though they were, John Bonham had died by that point. But I was classical, and then I started listening to Zeppelin, and then the Beatles, and then Fish of the Grateful Dead kind of fell into my lap after that. But
Nice.
and George Winston, we'll get into that. But that kind of George Winston bridged the gap between classical and popular music, at least for my mom and I. But yeah, I was really into classic rock when I was a kid. I just didn't really like the 80s music, although now I appreciate it. So.
Well, I love hearing how all of those things come out of your fingers as you play. Do you want to do a little more music for us, and
Sure.
we'll chat some more?
Sure. Well, you know what? I mentioned Led Zeppelin. Why don't we play a Zeppelin tune?
What? On the
Oh,
piano?
All right. What? That's
On the
blasphemy.
piano? Can that be done?
Anything can be done. All right. Yes, it can be done, and it will right now.
That was really awesome. That was really awesome.
Thanks, Dan. Thank you, guys.
So that was No Quarter by
was No Quarter.
Led Zeppelin. Probably one of the coolest Led Zeppelin tunes. What makes a good piano version of a song? Like, what do you when you're approaching a tune like that?
Yeah.
You know, what makes it so awesome?
I'm going to be honest with you, Dan. I don't know. I'll play it once in my house by myself. If it sounds awful, then I will never do it again.
Do it again.
Yeah. And that one I just thought sounded pretty cool. So I thought I'd play it for you fine people.
What songs have you attempted that you were surprised how good they sounded, and which one were you surprised that it didn't work?
That's a really good question. I don't know. There's a lot of '80s tunes that I play sometimes that surprise the heck out of me, like Cyndi Lauper.
Sure.
Cyndi Lauper songs sound pretty darn cool on the piano.
All right.
And then I guess I try some other things. I really don't know. I think, I said if I don't like it, then I won't play it.
It's out.
I can't think of anything I haven't liked for a while.
That's all right. I got to tell you, you have been streaming a lot. We'll tell the people you stream every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m.
Correct.
So you can go to bed listening to Mike tonight, and you can wake up and he'll drink your coffee listening to him tomorrow.
That's right.
And one of the ones that really, I tuned in and I was like, what is this? This is so great. And it was Two Step by Dave Matthews Band. I was like, seriously?
Right.
It was fantastic. I really enjoy your interpretations.
Nice. Well, I appreciate that, Dan.
Let's see. Where are we going to go from here? Well, let's see. The new record, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Is a beautiful musical experience. So tell me how you approached writing the music for this record. Were the tunes written over an extended period of time? Were they recently written?
There was a few on there, and I guess, you know what? I'll play the next one. The next one I'm going to play is an older one.
Okay.
And there's a couple older ones that have just been playing stuff like this, or just, at restaurants or whatever. And then there's other things that I just, after quarantine, there was really nothing else to do but play piano and stuff like that. So I came up with a whole bunch of other songs, and just through GarageBand, press record and saved a lot of the improvisations, which are a lot of the ones that are on Peace Valley. I just reproduced them in Vermont.
Okay.
But so speaking of the album, I might as well play a song off of that.
Sure.
And like I said, it's an older one. And real briefly, and we'll probably get to this, but this is a song I wrote for my dad.
Okay.
He was a fitness instructor, and I wrote this for one of his cool downs. But speaking of my dad, it's just a thrill to be here on this stage in Sellersville. He was born right down the street. He lived in a small apartment here, and then they moved to a house, but right down the street from here. Sellersville is his hometown, and he would take me here when it was a movie theater. And I think we saw Ghostbusters and Care Bear movie and all
Good
kinds
ones.
of stuff like that. So I want to shout out to my dad, Andrew.
So is this My Father, My Friend?
Correct.
For
I'm
the
going to
album?
play My Father, My Friend. It's on Peace Valley. I actually wrote this probably when I was in high school or maybe college. Yeah,
Well, do you remember the process of writing it? Do you remember? Not at all.
No, most of them are just improvisations.
Improvisations.
And if they're good enough, they just stick. I gave up writing stuff down in college because if I started to write it down, it sounded too forced and too mechanical and too crappy.
I see. So then, which are the parts of the song that stay constant, and which are the parts that are free form as you go?
Well, that's a good question too, because some of the songs have a constant and then a free-form jam section. And
the jam, right?
Some of them are just straightforward, and this is one of those just straightforward. It's basically written down in my head.
I see.
Notated in my head.
So this is the song, as it'll always be this way.
Correct. It doesn't really change.
Excellent. All right, let's hear it.
All right.
I love this one. By the
This
way.
is for my dad. He used to roll down the hill over there, just by themselves. They just rolled. That's what he told me. There was a hill. I don't know. So this is for you, Pop. Thank you, guys. So that was the song for my pop.
Another beautiful one.
If you like, I can just continue to play.
Sure.
Do you have any questions?
Let's see. Well, yeah, I mean the George Winston was the
Oh,
force of George Winston was strong in that one.
well, yeah. Speaking of George Winston, yeah, you know what? Let's play a George Winston song. George played this piano you're saying, and he played
sure
it on
did.
the stage. So
He sure did.
how can I not play this?
We'll talk about him first, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I mean, you mentioned that he bridged a gap. Tell me about George Winston bridging a gap for you. What was the gap?
And like I said, I guess before, my mom and I were classically trained, and she was a classical piano teacher. So I was not forced, but you know, that's all I knew to play. And then George Winston came about, and she played a tape, and his album December became our
Classic.
traditional Christmas album that we would listen to going to my grandparents, and he did this version of Pachelbel's Canon, which is what inspired me to start branching off into doing, because it's not classical, but it's not rock or anything, so I'm not quite sure what it would be. But my mom and I, that we really appreciate it. So I saw him at the Academy of Music, and he played this song, and we cried, and it's like, all kinds of fun things like that. So basically, George Winston's the reason that I do solo piano stuff.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I guess without further ado, I'll play this song.
Let's do it.
This is, I guess, like I said, it's George Winston's version of Canon in D.
Oh, nice.
But of course, he recorded it in C. So I don't know why. But I will as well play it in C. right, thank you guys. It's also nice to have an audience here.
It sure
Like
is.
I didn't know there's going to be people or not. I wasn't sure if I was just going to talk to these cameras or you in the little square booth up there.
That's right.
It's awesome. Thank you guys for coming out, by the way.
Yes, we have a very lovely, a very
Yeah.
attractive in-person audience here as well.
I can't see them, but
Our online
I can tell you
audience
that.
is very happy. There's claps, there's hearts.
oh, I love the hearts. I love when they do that.
Marion
That's my-
Miller accurately named that as Forever Young. She heard
Yeah.
that in there.
Yeah, I threw that in there. I was reminded of that song earlier. It was in my high school reunion, my high school video yearbook. I went to Souderton High School in class of 94. But that song was in there, and I had to throw it in because George Winston being young and blah blah blah. So I'm a very mushy person.
Well, that's nice. I mean, well, you just answered a question there. Are you mashing up songs thematically or by message, or is it
Yeah,
just musical?
everything I play pretty much has some kind of meaning.
Yeah.
Either subconsciously or just the fact that I don't know. I might just like the song,
Right.
But yeah, that of course did. And the Hey Soul Sister, it was in there for Jackson, and my buddy Keith actually asked for Led Zeppelin's.
Fantastic.
So there's certain things like that. I try to please people and myself at the same time. I have to make it fun for myself as well as make it fun for the audience of all ages.
Sure. Well, you've got a lot of audience here who's very excited. Miguel Rodriguez.
Oh, he's my buddy. He's a Souderton guy.
He shared that outside of Michael Borowski, George Winston, December is his favorite piano solo album. So there's a lot of love for George Winston
Yeah,
happening
buddy.
in the crowd right now. And I got to say, I had never connected George Winston to jam band, but it seems so obvious now that we're talking about it.
He improvises a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you have these points of, you have your point of melody, and then you kind of depart from that, go on an adventure, and then kind of come to another melodic moment. And
His songs, sorry to interrupt, but they're never the same when you see him live.
Right.
He is like the jam band of solo piano.
Wow. That's
People
fantastic.
laughing at me.
Well, thank you for illuminating that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's true.
I love it. Friends watching at home, I know you're enjoying this show. Please take a moment. We are sharing links on the screen with you right now. These are all the ways that you can support the show. Click into that link, and there are many ways to pay. All the ways are A-OK, and certainly we appreciate any contributions you can throw our way. This evening, your money goes even farther. All contributions will go to support Michael Borowski, the Sellersville Theater, and also tonight we are also supporting the Walk to End Alzheimer's with the contributions that come in this evening. So thank you very much in advance.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thanks. That was not my idea. That was Daniel and the theater, Sellersville Theater, to do that.
It's a great cause to support. So, Michael, tell us about new projects in the works. You just released Peace Valley. We're going to get into that a little bit more, but obviously we're in a weird quarantine thing. You're shut up just like the rest of us. I mean, shut in like the rest of us.
Right.
What have you been playing? What music is coming out of your fingers in the last few months?
Yeah, well, pretty much I write songs every day. Some of them I hit record, and some of them I don't, so I lose them forever.
Mm-hmm.
But this is I'm going to play something. It's technically new, but I've been playing it for years. I used to call it the Runaway Truck Ramp.
Okay.
But now I'm thinking about calling it the L because I'm trying to do. I think I might go back to Vermont and record another album, and it's going to be home-based because I'm a very emotional and home person, and very proud Pennsylvanian and Philadelphian and Souderton and now Hatfield, and so I'm calling this the L.
We're happy to have you.
Right on, man.
Well, so tell me about how you've developed this. Like you're performing it now, but maybe it existed before.
Yeah, I've played it before. I've done concerts at the Montgomery Theater, Alzheimer's events, and I played it a bunch. It's basically I do it to break up the slow, sappy stuff because this one is fast and energetic. So I usually just throw it in so people don't fall asleep, or at least
Gotcha.
at least wake them up when they fall asleep.
And what is the ratio of fixed music to jam in this particular piece?
The fixed is the left hand, and the right hand is just whatever.
Oh, half and half.
So it's
right down the middle.
pretty much, and even the left hand does it what it wants to do.
Well, so in a piece that's largely improvised like this, what is the initial inspiration? Like, what is the guiding principle that sort of informs the jam? Is it a chord progression? Is it a feeling, an emotion you're trying to convey? What's the character of that shapes this particular journey?
In this case, E minor.
E minor.
It is chord progressions does inspire, but I was a composition major at Temple, but theory is all out the window anymore. It did nothing for me. So ever since I just started not doing that and just using my head and closing my eyes and playing, I've been a lot more successful.
Gotcha. Well, E minor jam. I've heard many bands cover this song at soundcheck.
Yeah, this is that one.
Got it.
So it's the E minor jam, nickname Runaway Truck Ramp, nickname the septa L. Just the L. Thank you, Cleveland. Yeah. So that's that song. That's just to make sure people are awoke.
They are woke. You have
They
woken
are
them
awoke.
up.
That's good.
Well, it has come time for us to talk the title track off of this beautiful album of yours, Peace Valley.
Yeah.
Let's show the people what it looks like. Please, I know that tree, Mike. I have walked at Peace Valley Park, and I know where that tree is.
My wife, Kirsten, took that picture.
It's beautiful picture, beautiful album. Well, first of all, why is it Peace Valley? What is Peace Valley?
Well, as you know, Peace Valley is not very far from here, Peace Valley Park. I had the privilege of growing up around there because I grew up in Souderton, but I never really took advantage of it until my wife came. She was not from this area, but she moved here with me, and she's like, there's a really cool park, and she would go every day in the summer. And then I just started going, and then started riding my bike, and it really was a nice place to go to escape. There was a lot of going on with my mom and her health, and a lot going on, obviously, in the world, and it's just a really good place to go and to escape. And so normally, music is my only outlet, and I finally let nature take over, and so I kind of synthesized those two concepts.
Well, and now you've given all of us a place to go when we want to escape.
Go over there. It's really
Peace
great.
Valley Park. So this record you made with Will Ackerman.
Sure did.
Of Windham Hill fame.
Yeah.
And so how did you guys hook up? How did that come to pass that you were working with this legend?
As we made clear already that I'm a big fan of George Winston,
Yes.
and that album, December. And if you look on the album, Will Ackerman is the producer of that record, and basically he was responsible for discovering George Winston. I mean, if I can be so forward to say, I believe that's the truth. And signed him, and then developed Windham Hill Records, and then that just blew up. Will is not associated with it. He sold his share, but he's still obviously a producer. But one day I was just sitting in the field by my house, Frick's Field, and it reminded me of a video that Will Ackerman did of one of his songs. He was just playing in a field. I'm like, this would be so cool to just play in a field. I'm like, I should just email Will Ackerman and see what happens. And then I did. He got back to me. I sent him some demo stuff, and then he really seemed to like it, and we're like best buddies now.
It was that easy?
It's really that easy. I mean, yeah, absolutely that easy.
Well, when you got the goods, I guess.
He just wants
easy.
he wants to continue producing, but he picks and chooses who to work with. But
So in this case, with Will Ackerman producing, what does that mean? What was his role in the process of developing these songs?
it was amazing. He wasn't just a producer. He could feel the music, like you could see it in his eyes. Like he would just, and he knew if something didn't sound right, and not like, and there's nothing wrong with classical theory, composition, educational, academic composition, but he could just feel it, and that's how I am anymore. I just feel it. If you know it sounds bad, and if it sounded bad, he had no problem telling you it sounded bad. If I didn't play football for Drew Dara, I might have had a little weaker heart, but I'm a tough guy, so I could take it. But then the stuff that he liked was just, he just was gushing. And his partner, the engineer, Tom Eaton, he co-produced it. His magical mixing skills and editing skills, and it was just an amazing experience. It was like going to school for 2 days. We recorded it, and then that was it.
So was he actually involved in like kind of shaping the song? So you would play him the piece, and he'd be like, "Oh, this is good," but that part. It's not working? Yeah,
I sent him things via GarageBand and email. If he didn't like something, he told me, and I re-recorded it and see what he thought. And then, and then he's like, perfect, that's it, come on up.
Did he have any like nuggets of wisdom or advice to get you in the right frame of mind at any point?
Musically?
Well, or philosophically,
Yeah,
musically,
well,
whatever.
musically, definitely. Like, absolutely. He just his description of how I should how he hears it. I mean, he's also like also let me do my own thing because
Right.
he knows I'm the artist and he was giving his suggestions, but. I asked him to be the producer. I might as well listen to what he had to say. And 99.8% of the time, he was right on the mark.
Well, but how is he communicating to you? Like, communicating about a sort of a ephemeral improvisation might be a little awkward to talk about. Like what's the language using? Like, make it a little more blue here or whatever. Like,
well, yeah, I guess it wasn't really with the improvs per se. It was more of the structure of a song.
I see.
If I said, "Here's the structure," boom, A, B, improv. Like he'll just be like, "The B thing sucked. Do it again."
Wow.
So, but yeah, if the improv was all me, he just go nuts, and I mean, he might say to limit it a little bit because sometimes I went a little too nuts. But
were you doing multiple takes and then kind of doing a supercut of the takes?
It really depended. Tom Eaton just mixed things in with the punching in the. It was unbelievable. I didn't realize you could do that with an acoustic instrument and that flawlessly. So, but luckily we didn't have to do too many of that. We got most of it done in 1 or 2 takes. But it's just that when you make a mistake or something, it was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was he? Would he have a hand in sort of creating the mood for you to perform the piece?
Sure. Yeah. He had a. If I was playing too fast or slow down, calm down a little bit, or maybe a little darker.
Like an
Yeah.
incense.
So he definitely helped with all that.
Right. Any George Winston anecdotes? Did he share any George Winston stories while you were
Yeah,
there?
he did. He was saying it was one of George Winston's songs, Colors. George Winston, it was originally a 2-minute song, but at the end, if you look on his album, it's like 9 minutes or so. Will just took it and just looped everything, and I don't know. He was telling some funny stories, but I probably not at liberty to say all of them.
Well, that sounds like an incredible experience.
It was awesome.
And the album came out great. So whatever you guys did together, it worked.
Right on, buddy.
You want to do the title track?
Sure, let's
Titular
play it.
track.
This is Peace Valley off of Peace Valley. Peace Valley. Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Thank you, Dan. So, yeah. I always try to mix things up a little bit, and after I play a slower song like that, I get into a little more action-type song. And today is Fat Tuesday, and Mardi Gras. I don't have any Mardi Gras songs planned, but I do have this kind of thing, stride piano. That's a big fad in New Orleans, but as we mentioned before, I come from a Grateful Dead tribute band, Splintered Sunlight. So I thought maybe, and if it's okay with you guys and okay with Dan, I'll play a Grateful Dead song in the style of a New Orleans Mardi Gras celebration.
I'll allow it.
Thanks, buddy. Let's see how I can screw this up. Okay.
It works.
Again, just to make sure you're awake. I love the Grateful Dead. I love playing stuff a little differently than it's normally played.
Real quick, tell me what's the difference for you between improvising as a solo performer and improvising in a band?
Well, it's basically it's the same philosophy really that I take to playing in a jam band. Generally, you have the music, you have the verse, the chorus, and then just kind of free. And I do the same thing with solo piano. Partly because I'm too lazy to write anything down, and like I said earlier before, if I write stuff down, it kind of takes away from the freedom. But if you're coming to see somebody, jam bands have a great fan base, and they see them on a regular basis, and you don't want to see the same song, even if you're playing the same song. At least change it up a little bit.
Sure.
Because when I go see music, the last thing I want to do is be bored because
Sure.
I'm out there to have a good time. So I want to make sure people have a good time. If they don't like the sappy, slow stuff, you just change it up with something
Right.
a little flashy, and or just kind of play whatever comes to your head and be creative and let them in on it.
Right.
If they're in the audience, they're part of it.
What's easier as a solo performer, or harder as a solo performer?
Well, it's a lot harder as a solo performer because if I make a mistake, you can hear it.
Hide.
Can't hide from it. I can't hide behind like Mrs. Guitar or Butchie or whatever.
Look angrily at the bass player.
Yeah, just let them. Oh no, it wasn't me. But it usually is me. But I'm very good at playing it off. But yeah, when you make a mistake, just keep going. But I feel a little naked up here, even though I'm very comfortable with this piano. It's kind of weird just being me. Well, I'm not used to that. I play with a lot of musicians, and I'm grateful to play with a lot of musicians, and will continue to play with a lot of musicians. But I also want to expand on this solo thing because I'm having a great time doing it.
Well, I want to shout out there are a few musicians in the crowd.
Hey buddy!
The guy I saw Paul Wilkinson commenting.
Yeah,
that was the lead bear in 400 Bears.
He's the lead bear.
The main bear. We had King Solomon Hicks was commenting. We had Tim the Tune Man Roof.
Nice.
Tim the Tuner Man was commenting earlier. Glenn Grafton's in the house.
Thank you, Glenn.
Like I said, you're a musician's musician. They're
Yeah,
all here
right
to
on.
Do your thing.
Keep
it going there.
All right. All right.
What do you got for us?
Well, yeah. I think I'll play a song that I wrote for my lovely wife. Her name is Kirsten, and I really don't think it's that hard of a name, but she introduces herself as Kay because a lot of people screw it up. They say Kirsten or Kristen So I called this song Kay. That's where that comes from, and it's on the Peace Valley. So this is for you, Kay. Thank you. As for Kirsten.
Absolutely lovely.
Thanks, pal.
So, Mike, on this show, we do a segment called the Teacher Feature, where I ask about someone who's been influential, or a teacher, a mentor. But you've already told us about about Cindy and Gloriana, and your mom Cindy, of course, and Gloriana.
Yep.
And so I just wanted to just dig into them a little bit further and
Absolutely.
just ask you if you wouldn't mind to talk a little bit about some of the things that they told you and share pass on some of their words of wisdom, perhaps, that were influential to you.
Yeah, well, that's a real loaded question because those two women really shaped me a lot, not just musically, but work ethic. Just the amount of time to put in to develop a skill is incredible. And Gloriana had such a gentle way of being strict. I almost hate saying strict because she wasn't strict. She was just so nice and so gentle, and so her voice is so soft. But if you messed up or if you knew you weren't prepared, like she let you know in her own way, and almost like I felt bad that I disappointed her. Like she was never mean.
Well, that's deadly.
Yeah. But like she always knew you could get more. Like she knew what I would be capable of, and if I didn't produce it, I would know, and I would not want that feeling. So I would go home and work on it. And at home, at least when I was younger, like a kid, my mom would sit with me and practice. So she formed. I don't really know what I can say without crying, which I'm try not to. She, and there were times where it wasn't the best of times. Who wants to practice when you're a 10-year-old boy? I liked football too, and we could talk about that kind of thing, like Drew Dara and Tony Cipriano, who lives right down the street. I learned the same thing from those guys, and my dad. For football and math and science, and I tried to soak it all in and learn all kinds of things about how not to give up, because I'm no spring chicken, and this is my first debut album, and I'm not stopping, and I think Gloriana and Drew Dara and my parents, they had a lot to do with that. To still just keep on moving, like don't stop.
Right.
My mom had developed Alzheimer's, and for a good decade, I was focused a lot on that. So it kind of took away from motivation. But now things are more peaceful and getting back on the train. But yet, I've learned a lot from pretty much every teacher I ever had. It's very good. And both my parents are teachers. My wife's a teacher. I'm not going to get into it all, but I love you, teachers.
Yes.
Support the teachers.
We support our essential teachers. Well, thank you for sharing that. It sounds like you had some wonderful influences
I sure did.
in your life.
Yep, sure did. So I think I'll play another Grateful Dead song for you guys.
Yeah. What is this one?
This one is is a slower song, but it's one of my favorite, I think. Jerry ballads. on the Moon. That's one of my favorite Jerry tunes the Grateful Dead have.
Love it.
All right. Well, I have a few more songs for you, Dan. I like to play. Actually, this one I'm going to pull an audible here and do one of my older ones. It's on Peace Valley. This song is called Arches, and it's a song that I wrote as a little road trip with my old bandmates Manic Mule, which we never talked about, but that's all right. That was my college band, and kind of my introduction into jam bands was Manic Mule with Felbrigg.
It's a great name.
Yeah, it was I think I actually came up with it. I think. I don't really remember. That was the 90s. But I'd like to start this song with it's actually a hymn, but it was taken from, and gosh, I shouldn't have said this because I forget the composer's name, but it's a theme from a symphony. I forget, but the hymn is...
Let the comment section...
There you go. Somebody will say this in the comment section. The hymn is called This Is My Song. And if someone can come up with the composer and the piece that this is ripped off of, please let me know.
Keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. And it's going to go into Arches. And we're wrapping up the show. I really do appreciate Dan. I really appreciate you having me. And this has been a blast, just to be on this stage with this piano and these lovely people, and hopefully there's people out in Facebook land. And
there are plenty of people out in Facebook land.
Right
Absolutely.
on. So thanks for the opportunity, pal. And thank you, Glenn Grafton, for donating the piano for this evening. Grafton's Piano and Organ in Souderton. Go buy a piano tomorrow. This is Arches. Thank you very much, you guys.
Absolutely fantastic. Mikey, we covered a lot of ground this evening. You covered a lot of ground this evening.
Absolutely.
From John Bonham to George Winston.
How about
to
it?
Jerry Garcia.
Yeah.
To Jean Sibelius. What was that last one?
Sibelius. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Commenter.
No, it was the comment section.
And you know, that was actually, if you watch Die Hard, the end credits, that Sibelius piece is in the end credits, yeah.
Well,
this is my song, and then this is my home is part of it, and the whole thing. You know me and home, and very
it's a beautiful thing.
Emotional person.
Well, before you go, let me ask you, tell us about your relationship with the Walk to End Alzheimer's.
Sure. Yeah. Obviously, we've covered. My mom passed away of Alzheimer's disease. She was a piano teacher and big inspiration to a lot of things I do. And I've been participating in the Walk to End Alzheimer's that's put on by the Alzheimer's Association. It's a nationwide thing, and each city across the country has a walk. And this past year, I started volunteering, and it's very rewarding and very fulfilling. I basically make phone calls to people, and some people are very nice and want to talk, and other people hang up and stuff. But it's okay. It's all good. And I spend a lot of time that I have free time or whatever raising money for Alzheimer's. A lot of people have donated. A lot of people I see here have donated, and I ask year after year and month after month, week after week, really, and I can't be more blessed with the friends I have that just keep continuing to donate, and because there is no cure for Alzheimer's. You get it, and that's pretty much it. It's devastating. So they're getting closer. So what I'm trying to do is just raise money, and I have a walk team, Cindy's Angels, and feel free to join if you want. Information on my website.
And we're sharing links on the screen.
Yeah.
One of those links is to support Cindy's Angels, your team.
Yeah. Thanks. So basically that's it. It's I am just volunteering, and I just do what I can. The Alzheimer's Association are the ones that are doing all the work. I'm just doing my part, doing what I can, and everybody has just been so supportive.
Well, I have all the faith that our viewers this evening are going to continue that support. Yeah. And I know they've appreciated your music. I know you said you've played a number of concerts to raise funds for that wonderful cause. And,
absolutely. And everybody comes through. It's amazing. Beautiful.
Well, would you play us one to go home on?
Sure thing, absolutely. Since we're talking on the subject, and Peace Valley is pretty much dedicated to my mom. This is the song off the album that I wrote for my mom, and you can find it on Peace Valley. Anywhere, the link. I have physical CDs here if anybody wants one. This one is called Cynthia Ann.
Before you play it, I'm sorry, Michael, would you mind showing us the picture you have on stage with you?
Well, sure. I don't know. I usually bring this, I don't know which camera.
Oh, that's all right. You hold it up, we'll get it.
All right. Well, that's my mom and my uncle, her brother, Uncle Whitey, who passed away in '99. The piano that they're playing on is the piano in my house. So I always keep it there, right on the piano. And so I thought this is a special event here, playing at the Sellersville Theater, at the hometown show. I wanted to bring this with me. And so they're watching. And then I have this one, too. I bought this picture frame in Savannah, Georgia, when I was with Dirk Quinn. And that's on my nightstand to keep that one there. So
beautiful. And that's your mom?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I'm sappy. I just to keep part of her with me when I'm playing, because still, and I've said this countless times, it's been a long time since she could say my name or anything, but I still feel like she's watching. Like it's so hard to say. But I feel like when I get done a song, I can just hear her say, Michael, that was so good. Like after this show, I would want to call her or something. But, you know, so I can't, so I'm just going to keep writing songs for her and keep her picture next to me as much as I can.
Well, thanks for introducing us to her.
You got it, buddy. So this is Cynthia Ann. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope to be back here when this stuff clears up. Thank you, guys. I had to take a bow since I was the last song, and Gloriana always told me to bow when we're done. So,
Very good.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you guys for coming out, and thanks for having me, Sellersville.
Our pleasure, Michael. Thank you very much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Michael Borowski. Thank you to Jeremy up here switching the video. Thank you to Tim, who came in to support. He typically runs our cameras for us. Thank you to Alyson, who's in the comments. Let's thank Grafton Piano and Organ for that lovely piano they provided us with this evening. Thank you to Tim Roof, who tuned it up oh so sweet. Let's say thank you to Visit Bucks County Visitors Bureau for helping us promote the show. Thank you to you, of course, for watching. And we will be back next week with the fabulous Adam Monaco. It's going to be great. You are watching Soundbooth Sessions. This is our live stream series. We do it pretty much every week, Tuesdays at 8 right here on Facebook. Pay as you please. And speaking of which, it's not too late to support the show. We know that you enjoyed it. Thank you for your generosity. We are sharing the links on the screen right now. You can also find them in the comments section, posted multiple times. They're also in the event description, which is somewhere on your screen. I don't know where it is. But thank you for joining us. That is our show. Hopefully, we will see you next week. We're out of here. All right, hit the credits, please.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks again. Oh, Mariana sent me a text message. Thanks for coming.
Beautiful